Obviously very disappointed with the outcome. You know, if you want to win a basketball game of that nature, playing against, you know, one of the best teams in the country, you have to minimize your mistakes. And I thought we lost focus, several possessions, had careless turnovers or careless just miscommunications that could have been rectified if we just communicated. But you give them credit. You know, you got Michaela Blakes, who obviously is one of the best players, and not the best player in the country. And she put them on their back, and she made some really big shots down the stretch, really, to propel them to the win. But disappointed. You know, I feel like it's been a little bit frustrating period for us, just because, you know, we felt like we were going in a direction, and obviously Teonni got hurt, and then we're trying to put it back together and trying to find ways to get that chemistry down pat. But we'll continue to fight.
We'll start with Sierra.
When you talk about the situational awareness when it comes down to when to foul, when not to foul, when to push it, when not to push it.
Yeah, we weren't supposed to foul in that situation, and I don't know why we did. You know, chalk it up for experience, but we had plenty of time to get a possession. I think it was 43 seconds, and we were, you know, going to play the possession out, and whatever reason, she just fouled, and she, you know, she played hard. You know, she made some shots for us. I just made a mistake in there, and those are some of the things that we talk about that we have to clean up, because we wanted to play that possession out, and it's just unfortunate. But we still had an opportunity to tie the basketball game. But that'll be a learning experience for us.
Brian.
Teonni, just talk about your night. I think you had 27 and 12. Does that sound right? But just talk about your night and just coming back from the injury and what it means.
It's good to be back out there with everybody, I think. Yeah, I hit shots tonight, but I mean, at the end of the day, we didn't, you know, pull it out. I think that's what I care about the most. So I think just going back wasn't perfect. So just being able to go back, look at all the film, learn from it, and get better, because, you know, that's what we need to do.
We'll go to the back, and then John.
Coach, Michaela Blakes was special tonight. She's a special player. Can you talk about maybe some defensive breakdowns, or was it just tough shot making, or how did she get those points against you?
Yeah, I mean, she's a special player. I mean, she's seen everything, every coverage. You know, she knows how to handle it. She has a unique ability to, you know, slide around you and finish, you know, an unorthodox layup. So she's hard to guard. I thought there was a stretch where we switched out on her, and we had our post players switching out on her, which we wanted, but they didn't corral her to send her back. They allowed her to get downhill, I think once or twice, and then she stopped behind the screen. And give her credit, she made the shot. So we knew, we talked about it as a coaching staff. You know, Shea runs some of the best stuff in the league, but we know when it gets down to crunch time, they're going to give her the ball and get out of play. And we had some miscommunications. We really did. We probably had about 5 that I can remember where we needed to do something different, and we allowed her to get going. And then you probably add in the outlet passes that led to a couple of threes that they got. You know, those are the things that will haunt us for a long time, and we need to clean up.
John.
Kenny Blakes gets off 25 shots, and Claire only gets 9. Was that something that they were doing? I know they were putting a lot of pressure on her, but it seems like you got to get her more shots.
Well, Claire's not going to force it. We get her the basketball, and she got doubled. You know, obviously Teonni was a beneficiary of some of those and getting her looks. And then, you know, a couple of Claire's shots, she went to the free throw line a couple times. But yeah, she doesn't need to get 9 shots. She needs to get a lot more than that. But Claire's not the type of player that's going to force it. And then you also have to give credit to Vanderbilt's defense. They disrupted us to the point where we couldn't really get into a flow when they started pressing a little bit, and then we had to go to a lot of quick hitters to counter that. But yeah, we need to get Claire more shots.
Questions? We'll go to the back, and then we'll go right here.
Coach, you say, it's kind of a frustrating time for you, but obviously at the same time, and we know what this team can do and has done in the past. So how are you all kind of working through this time, because you know what this team's potential is, especially with Teonni being there?
Yeah, you have no choice, but you have to figure it out. And I told them, I love them to death. I love them. I love being around them. And they play hard all the time, and they're very talented. But there's just some times where we just don't play smart basketball, and we'll do some things that can be costly. And we talked about it. They have to take some ownership with each other, accountability. She's our leader, the leader in the locker room. Put a lot of pressure on her and responsibility on her. But by no means of the stretch of imagination do we think that we're not a good basketball team. This league is very unforgiving. You can go out and you can play. We would have beat we would have beat 95% of the basketball teams in the country tonight in that building. We just happen to be playing against one of the top 7, or maybe even better. But that's the beauty of this league, and you get another opportunity. We got Texas next week, and we've got we got Vandy again, and we've got Ole Miss still, and we've got South Carolina. So we've got an opportunity to rectify this thing, but it's not going to be easy.
Teonni, the crowd was loud tonight. They were really into the game, especially as you were making your comeback. How important is that for people outside of the sports world to have the crowd behind you guys at home when you're coming back from a deficit like that?
I mean, yeah, it's huge. Big Blue Nation's one of the best fan bases in the country, so I mean, they come out, especially for big games, and it's great to have them behind us, especially to feed off that energy during runs and stuff like that. So we're super grateful to have them, and it's honestly like a huge piece of what we do here.
Brad?
Kenny, this is not about tonight's game. I just want you to talk a little bit about the 3 McDonald's All-Americans that was announced this week.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think we're one of 2 schools to have 3 McDonald's All-Americans. That's big. We're excited about those 3 and their contributions and what they can bring to us. And having players like a Teonni, who was a McDonald's All-American herself, coming to Kentucky. That was the reason that I wanted to come here, because you can attract a higher level of talent, and I have a tremendous staff, and they did a really good job of honing in on those 3, and to be able to get them. And they're all Americans. It's huge. It's huge. But the thing that we're so excited about is that they're even better people, and they're going to represent our program to the utmost. And they're going to be babies next year, but we understand that. But they are the future of our program.
John, and then we'll just take 1 or 2 more if you have it.
Kenny, it seems like Jordan is really struggling.
Yeah.
Is she okay?
She is. Full disclosure, I'll tell you, she's struggling a little bit because in Teonni's absence, she played Teonni's position. So now Teonni's back, and she's trying to find where she's supposed to go. And we were building what we were trying to be, and then Teonni, we lost Teonni December the 14th. She missed 2 games right around Christmas. We got her back for the LSU game. She got hurt in the Missouri game. So then we put, Jordan's had like 3 different roles. And so now it's my job. It's my job to put her in a scenario that she's going to be comfortable. And if you look at us and how we are built, we pretty much start a point guard and 4 power forwards. All right, it helps us rebound. It helps us, a lot of different ways. We're tall, we're long, we're athletic. Jordan's probably, the one that we're trying to figure out, okay, where can we put you? Where can we put you? And obviously having Teonni down low helps out Clara a lot. She rebounds the basketball. She scores around the basket. She'll be fine. She'll be fine. I think she'll be fine at the right time. And, so she just has to figure it out and just go play. And I think she will, but it's my job to put her in position so she is comfortable.
We'll go to the back and then we'll end with AJ.
One last question, Coach, for me. You hold them to 44% shooting. You do a good job on the boards. How do you get the message across to take care of the ball without being timid? Because sometimes when you start thinking about it too much, it becomes worse. So what's that message like, and how does that come out on the court?
I think I got it to them. It was just careless. Like as I mentioned, the outlets, where they got steals. A couple times we were we were loose with the basketball when we had it on the perimeter, you know, and they're aggressive, they're physical, you know, they'll hit your hand, and if referee's not calling, it's not a foul, but we gotta be able to play through that. If you take away those, and then the careless passes that we had against the trap by getting ourselves in really bad situations, we were fine. You know, we were fine, but we just put ourselves in that position to not be successful, and just really didn't play smart basketball for stretches of the game. You know, for some stretches of the game, we looked like we were, you know, a great basketball team, but then we lost focus. I think we were up 9 at one point, and we gave them a 3 after a timeout, and we made a careless turnover, and then Teonni went out, you know, for a few possessions, and before she got back, you know, we're down 3. And the whole complexion of the game is changing. We've got to be able to clean those things up in order to win games like this.
Go ahead.
Teonni, just a few minutes ago, Coach called you the leader of the team and how he puts a whole lot of pressure on you to kind of lead the pack. So when you hear that, what goes through your head, and how do you kind of take that pressure to lead the rest of the team?
Honestly, what goes through my head, it's a lot. I think, you know, we got a good group of girls, but just, you know, I gotta be better leading. So, you know, so we minimize some of these turnovers, minimize some of these things down the stretch. I think just, it's no pressure. I'm a very fit for the role. We talked, and he asked me, could I do it? And I said yes. Like, I want to do this. I want to, you know, help the team. But I think just moving forward, just, you know, figuring out how to do it better so we can, you know, pull out some of these games that we're losing by 1 or 2 possessions.
Thank you all for being with us.
Thank you guys for coming out.